Welcome everybody. Hope you guys are all having a fantastic day today. In today's live, we are going to be talking about, yes, you guys have guessed it, swing trading stocks. We're going to be talking about how to grow a small account, the strategies, the approach, and pretty much my mindset when it comes to swing trading. If you guys have any questions, feel free to ask in the chat room. And guys, if you want to learn more about swing trading, trading in the markets, I highly recommend checking out the Swing Trading Masterclass. I put it down in the comments. It's awesome. We got private live streams, we got quizzes, lectures, everything, group chat, all that stuff. And right now with the live stream, we're giving $50 off by using code LIVE. Code LIVE for $50 off. So check that out down below. And guys, I just want to go ahead and chat about growing a small account, and then we'll talk about the strategies, the positions we're holding, and some stocks with some sort of opportunity. So growing a small account, right? A lot of people love to overcomplicate it, and honestly, the approach I have when it comes to swing trading is base hits. I would rather take a 1, 2, 3% return all day long and just do that consistently rather than trying to swing for the fences and buying a stock at $1 and try to sell it for $100. I'm not that type of trader. I'm also a trader that has very, very realistic expectations. I know I titled this video turning $100 into 100,000. I know, I get it, but with trading, you can't expect that type of returns, in a short amount of time. The approach I have is literally buying a stock for $1 and selling it for $1.10, $1.20, and just doing that consistently over the years. And that's where you guys make your money. If you're expecting to get rich quick with trading, you have a huge disadvantage because you're going to be focusing on the worst stocks. So I just wanted to talk about that before we talk about some of the positions that we're actually in on. Let's jump into this here. So when it comes with looking at stocks with opportunity here, for me in my approach, I love, like a checklist style. So what that means is I prioritize stocks that follow my checklist, right? I have a trading journal. You guys know, if you guys watch the channel a lot, this is the trading journal I have, and I do have it. I'll put it down below for you guys. But the reason I love this is because it has your checklist for entries. So with all of my positions, or most of them, I should say, I want to make sure that this checklist gets met. So let's kind of chat about it here. So the first thing on my checklist is a stock with some sort of upward trend. So looking at this stock here, you guys will see that it has this really nice upward trend going from about, lows all the way down here at about $31, hitting highs at 173. So establishing a good upward trend. The next thing on my checklist is support, right? We need some sort of support, at least on the daily, because I'm a swing trader, right? I'm a swing trader, so I hold a position for more than a day, less than a year. Obviously, most of the time when I buy a stock or a position, I hold it anywhere from 6 to 9 days. So 6 to 9 days gives me that sweet spot. It gives me, enough time to make money, but also I'm not going to be holding during any earnings or anything like that. I just want to make sure we are good with any audio stuff. So but anyways, I never hold through earnings and stuff like that. So, I always want to make sure that we're on the daily, at least for me. Some swing traders actually use the weekly. But for me, I use the daily. So the next thing here, after we established an upward trend, is support. So support could be a variety of things. It could be a certain price we get buying pressure or indicator. So for me, I love the 90-day moving average line, which is the blue one, and then the 200-day, which is the red. Both of those act as very hard support and resistance lines. So you guys can see in the past, it hits them and we get those good buying pressure there, hits it again, get good buying pressure. We get good buying pressure again. So recently we had a huge amount of sell-off all the way down, to this 132 area, and then we got that buying pressure going up. Now today was a huge day for the stock, up about 7%, actually up about 8% earlier, and almost 9%. But after I establish, okay, the stock hit this support line, what's next? So for me, I want to make sure I'm never holding during an earnings report. And given that it just had an earnings, a little bit ago, about a week ago, I really don't have to worry about it, or you can actually just look it up online, the earnings. I know on Moomoo, the broker I use, I'll put them down below for you guys as well. But I know on Moomoo, they'll have the earnings sometimes right here if it's coming up. And given that it's not within the month, I think we're good. So after I establish we're not going to be holding during earnings, the next thing I do is establishing risk and reward. So for me, anytime I place a trade, I want to make sure we're holding, and having a 3-to-1 or 2-to-1 risk and reward. So meaning I'm trying to turn $1 into $3, so to speak. So for me, if we hopped in near and around this 200-day moving average line and we set our target back up here at, recent resistance and our stop just below it, it gives a really nice risk and reward, about a 7-to-1 risk and reward. But obviously you could probably adjust that a little bit given your entry points, and we'll chat about that here next. So now the next time is, what's the stock price? So for me, I look at the hourly chart. I'm looking at the hourly chart to determine, are we on some sort of hourly support? The reason why this is important here is because you want to make sure you're not just buying the stock randomly. You're looking for either some support, trend, or some sort of breakout. So for me, why I entered was we had a push up above the blue moving average line, which is the 90-day moving average line. You guys can see in the past, when it breaks out above it, we get good tendencies of extreme buying pressure, right? Even in here where it breaks up through it, gets good buying pressure. And then when it falls below it, it's just hard to break through it. So we entered near and around this 146 area, which was a little premium for the stock. I granted that. And our stop right now is going to be near and around this 148, which would give at least a profit for me, because I do trade with a little heavier an account of about a couple $100. So for me, I'm willing to take this trade, especially on the breakout, and either set my stops at 149, or I could even try to set it below the 90-day moving average line. Maybe we'll thin some out, just to stay in profit and then see if we can get some good moves up. But ideally, what we're looking for is the breakout here of this 200-day. The 200-day, the red line, is going to be a very, very hard resistance for the stock. Now, the reason why we don't wait, you can wait, and a lot of traders do it, and occasionally I do too, but why a lot of traders don't enter on the breakout or why a lot of traders do enter on the breakout of the 200 is because it's more of a confirmation. You guys can see in the past, when it breaks up through the 200-day, we get that good buying pressure as well, and it does act as very hard support as well. So it's kind of like that great middle ground. But often what we have a tendency of seeing is when you enter on that confirmation or that breakout, your risk and reward could be a little off. So, it's always better if you do that, go light with your position, and then as the stock goes up, then you can start adding more to it. So RCL, we're still up a couple $100, and it's been a very, very good trade using a lot of our indicators and all of our stuff. So another thing that I kind of glanced over was RSI. The RSI on this stock here was trading at a 29. The last time it was trading for a 29 was back in here where we had this good move. So the RSI is the relative strength index. It tracks momentum and all that stuff inside the company. So I do think that this is a very simple thing you guys can start doing to determine if you should buy it. And so now that we understand that, these are all the positions that we're currently in on. Some of these are going to be trades. Some of these are going to be more long-term, not long-term, but a couple month trades, which honestly is a little outside the norm for me. Like I said, my average is 6 to 9 days. So given that we took a trade on Google, the reason why, very, very simple, sold off down to the 200-day moving average line. It got good support there in the past. I just had a good feeling we were going to get good buying pressure. It was trading for 24 on the RSI, which is very, very low for this stock. The last time it was trading for 24 on the RSI was all the way back in early 2022, back in here. So I have a very good feeling that we're going to get some sort of buying pressure out of this, and it still follows a lot of our guidelines. Upward trend, sold off down to some level of support. Check, all that stuff, which is really, really nice. And it's a blue chip stock. It's very well established, and it's not going anywhere anytime soon. And given that if this stock does sell off a little more, I feel confident just buying more of the stock. So That's very good as well. Another one here is Microsoft. We bought some Microsoft, and we actually bought in on the 90-day moving average line, and then we averaged down as the stock sold off. Our average cost is near around 410 as of right now. I do think that's a pretty fair position, or pretty fair cost for this stock. You know, Microsoft is very well established. I could have waited a little bit longer before I bought it, but I really think in the grand scheme of things, it's a very stable company, good upward trend on the 200-day moving average line, undervalued on the RSI, and I think we'll get some good buying pressure out of this one. The next one here is Meta. Meta here has a little different play. This stock here was trading on this trend line, as you guys can see. Got a lot of good buying pressure on it. Buying pressure. So recently sold off, hit it, and this is kind of why we entered, is because it released earnings and it really beat expectations, causing the stock to skyrocket up. And then it was followed by a day of pretty much terror. And what I mean by that is huge amount of sell-off. I think we all know kind of the other day, a whole bunch of stocks were just selling off like crazy. And this includes Meta, sold off back down to pre-levels before the good earnings. And then obviously followed up by a huge amount of buying pressure. That was kind of common sense, right? So a lot of people got scared, shaken out, sold off, and then people said, oh, well, it just released good earnings. I think, I should hold or buy this position, and now it's up, almost 4%. The last one here is Costco. Costco took a nice trade right on the 90-day moving average line. I do think this one here is another position where if it just does sell off, we can just buy more of it. I think it's a very stable play on the 90-day moving average line. It was pretty undervalued on the RSI as we look at it here. Trading for 33, historically, which is a pretty good spot for this stock, just because the last time it was trading for there, we had good buying pressures. And looking at the hourly, it did find some nice support in between $816 and about $800. Right in that range, I think represents a really good opportunity to buy Costco stock at a cheap price. So those are the positions that we are in on. Now, in the grand scheme of things, some of them, I do think are, very stable and follow the strategy really well. And others obviously are going to be more of that long to intermediate return. But now let's actually talk about stocks with some sort of opportunity. Stocks with opportunity, as of today, we did get a good buying pressure out of it. So some of them could be a little premium, but BGC was actually called out by one of the course members. And this play was beautiful. Right on this trend line, got good buying pressure. And what's funny about this is we did take a small trade on it with our Robinhood account. I do have a fun Robinhood account that I have a couple $1,000s in on. And we actually did take a trade on this, which is funny, but I didn't put it to the holding just because I'm not holding it with this account. But anyways, so yeah, this is a great stock here right on this trend line. You guys can see boom. This is why trends are so important, and just using like the RSI. RSI was trading at a 34. The last time it was trading for a 34 was all the way back in mid 2023, where the stock went from about $3 to about $5. So very good position here. Another one was ARCE or ARCC. ARCC, was undervalued on the RSI. It was trading for a 27 on the RSI, as well as looking at the EMA lines, the EMA. It hit that 200-day moving average line, which has great tendencies of getting good buying pressure there. So the stock did skyrocket up, which is good to see. Another one here is ticker symbol EPD. EPD hit that mid ground in between the 90 and the 200. But what it did have was really hard support right here. You guys can see that every time it hit this price near and around this $27 mark, it got good buying pressure. Especially if we get rid of this, you can see it a little clearer. Hits it, buying pressure, sold off, hit it, and the stock skyrocket up. This is just a textbook play by using basic support and resistance lines. So I do think we could see a move up to like 29 for this one. This one here, ticker symbol HOLX. HOLX could be a short position. Given all the market volatility, I do think this one, could see a little sell-off here, and you could possibly enter on the short. You guys can see the resistance up here on this top line. Hits it, and we got a good amount of sell-off here. So recently, given the market conditions of, high inflation, high volatility, we could see a bunch of sell off out of this one as well. Next one here, CAMT. CAMT was near and around this support for the stock here. The stock did move up a little bit, as you guys can see. Also, it had the moving average line, so it was kind of in this middle ground where it hit it, got good buying pressure, could see move up to like 101. But one thing I don't like is this huge sell-off, very, very, very fast. Could be make it a little volatile. Another position is Amazon, and honestly, we'll probably take a trade out of this one here soon. Amazon has this nice trend line. You guys can see it hits it in the past, and we just get really good buying pressure on this hard yellow line. You know, hits it, buying pressure, so hits it, we could get that nice move up to like 181. So these are very, very simple strategies you guys can use to start swing trading stocks. You know, if you guys have any questions, you know, feel free to ask. Feel free to ask down below. If you guys want to learn more about swing trading, I highly recommend checking out the Swing Trading Masterclass. It's our school, it's our course, and honestly, it's literally like my pride and joy, where I try to teach people, where I do teach people how to swing trade and my approach and stuff like that. And given the live stream, we're doing a $50 off coupon for it. So check that out by using code LIVE. And if you guys want to get a trading journal, I'll put that down below for you guys as well. But this is a very simple strategy you guys can do to grow an account. Don't expect to get rich quick. Don't expect massive returns. Just focus on base hits. And if you're just starting out and this is the first video, first live stream, whatever you want to call it, and you are trying to learn how to trade, focus on education, focus on paper trading, and just using simulated money, and then slowly start introducing cash and capital. The last thing I want to do is throw you guys into, you know, the market blind. You have to have some guidance, some navigation before you start really going heavy in on it. So guys, I hope you guys all enjoyed it, but more importantly, I hope you learned something. If you guys did, hit that like button, subscribe. I appreciate you guys hanging out with me today, and we'll see you guys in the next one.